welcome. I have a pair of art cards today, and I started with some Bristol smooth paper cut to 3 by 4, and I'm going to do some distress inking through a stencil. I'm going to use 2 different background colors. One is going to be cracked pistachio. That's the small one. I don't use that very much, so I haven't purchased a new one, but it's getting low. I can tell. I'm gonna have to add that to my list for my next purchase. My neighbor just started mowing the lawn as I started, so we got that in the background. Hopefully it's not too bothersome. I'm going to cover the whole card. And then as soon as I'm covered, I'm going to add some translucent Crackle paste. So it's helpful sometimes to tape the stencil in place. And this stencil is bowing a little bit, so I'm anticipating a little bit of bleed through. So I'm covering the whole card with the Crackle texture paste. You kind of spread it like you were spreading yogurt on bread or something like that. I try to get it very smooth because it's going to crackle and that's going to give me texture enough. I'm going to remove the stencil. I'm just going to wipe it down because I'm going to do the other card with the same stencil. Now that looks I actually think that color is pretty, but it's going to dry a lot more vivid in color than that because the texture paste dries clear. It goes on kind of a milky, cloudy, milky white, but dries clear. This one I'm going to do the base with salvaged patina. And again, I'm going to cover the entire card. And then translucent Crackle texture paste. And just peeling it back, and that's going to go into a water bath. And I do see some overlap in the bottom right hand corner, but it's dry now, and so I'm going to put ink on the white areas. The cracked pistachio is going to get cracked pistachio first, and then some salvaged patina on top. I just want a little bit of variation between the texture paste and the background, but nothing too radical. Could have gone with something like old paper or antique linen. That would have been good too. And now with the salvage patina. And you can see right away the white areas where the Crackle paste got underneath. So on the other one, I'm putting salvage patina down first, and I'll top that with cracked pistachio. Next, I'm going to be adding some vintage photo on the edges and in just a bit. This is going to be a pretty grungy looking set of cards. And because I'm coming in with vintage photo, I'm going to use walnut stain around the edge. I tried doing vintage photo, but it's like, no, you can't even see that. So I grabbed the walnut stain and used that. I'm going to do some vintage photo splatter. So I just smush it down on my mat, add a couple spritzes of water, and depending if I want fat or smooth, this is my fat brush, so I'm getting kind of fat splatters. But whichever one I use, I wet the brush first so it doesn't absorb all the water I put down and not have anything to splatter. And I'm going to give that a dry. And I'm going to start collaging. These are going to look different. I'm not going to try to make them look the same. On the cracked pistachio one, I'm going to add this magnolia flower. It's one of my favorites. I use it quite often. And then just other pieces of ephemera. The only thing that's not a digital download is the number list from Tim Holtz on the bottom. I'll have everything listed in the description. And I print all my digital files on 90-pound white cardstock, and I buy them off of Etsy. I'll have the links in the description. I usually like to cover the end of the stem of the flowers, because otherwise it just looks like it just is hanging there. Unless it goes off the card, that would be acceptable, but if it's not going off the card, to me it just does not look right. I'm trying to position it so that you can tell that that is a 7. Doesn't have to see the entire thing, but I want you to know it's a 7. And this number strip's got a little bit of red in it, which kind of plays off the reddish pink that's in the flower. So this card's kind of contrasting the cracked pistachio, whereas the other card will just kind of neutral into the blue. Adding vintage photo around the edges so I don't have any white edges. This number strip here. Everything else is digital except for this number strip on this one too. Um, there was a lot of white space around it, or empty space, so I trimmed that number strip to just kind of go right around the text. And I'm taking this little tag. I'm kind of off camera and I'm sorry, but I'm just writing "for you" on it. So almost like it's a gift for someone, as it very well could be. A couple years ago I practiced calligraphy, so just on my own, not on a course or anything. And so I got the basics. I'm not good at all the curly cues, but the basics I can manage. And then the last thing to add there is the sentiment, or not the sentiment, the number strip at the bottom. And then that's it. I invite you to subscribe if you haven't already. If you like this piece, give me a thumbs up or maybe drop a comment. Either way, I hope you have an awesome day. And I've got some final pictures coming up, so stay tuned for those. And I'll see you next time.